Get your face right in it.
We're back. Welcome to video number 2 of our Art and Olfaction Independent Finalist Series. And we have another fragrance to wish good luck to. And that fragrance is by Aedes de Venustas, Amnesia Rose, perfumed by Mr. Luca Maffei, who won the Art and Olfaction Awards last year for a fragrance for Parfums Cortana in the same category. So, first of all, let's take a look at that box. They call it peacock blue and gold. We'll put it up on the screen. This is absolutely just reeks of class.
Killer presentation already.
As somebody who samples a lot of fragrances, I would have liked more than 0.7 mils, but I do like the presentation on this, and it's forcing me to make a decision if I would want to buy a bottle of this. This isn't going to sit around for a whole long time.
Do you think it's fair that they recruited the winner, or is that a cheat code?
I think that if you hire Luca Maffei to perfume anything, odds are it's because you want to have a successful fragrance. He has many, many excellent fragrances. A couple duds. He did do a Cologne Intense for Houbigant that people just don't like. It almost sounds so bad I might have to get my hands on it at a discounter. But in general, he is very well respected and obviously an award winner.
Do you think that would affect the outcome of the contest, because they might be biased to say, oh, he won last year, or he won last year, let's give him it this year? You know?
I don't know.
You see what I mean?
I don't know the Institute for Art and Olfaction well enough. I know several of the people who are listed as judges by reputation from what they put online, but I don't know their personal integrity or if they have policies. So
Gotcha.
What you're saying here, I think, is they either might shut Luca down because they don't want him to repeat, or we may be going
overlook at, overemphasize this guy. Like, oh, he's the winner, let's see what he's got this year, draws more attention.
So we can have a Luca dynasty.
Yeah.
And then in next year, he'll be like, I'm the three-time champion. That could be fun. It could also get old. As long as the perfumery's good, I think that that's all that matters. But I'm going to do a fresh spray of Amnesia Rose. Oh, beautiful sprayer. The recoil on that sprayer made me drop it. So we have a fresh spray right here, and then a dry down also on paper right there. Hold on, just real quick. The opening is absolute, like the first, don't miss the opening. Quite literally, like that first 30 seconds to a minute is absolutely precious. There are some fragrances that you spray,
Dude.
and then you're like, hold on, let me let the alcohol clear out. This is just,
Get your face right in it.
oh, it's like beauty. It's unsurpassable blast of just exquisitely balanced pepper, rose. It's dry, but it doesn't suck the air out of the room.
So good. So good.
I'm smelling the dry down. So
we were comparing this to Portrait of a Lady, and we were saying how it's like, it's newer. It's almost like an evolved version. We were talking about our karate and how our techniques evolve. It's almost like this perfume had a. It's like the Portrait of a Lady evolved. It's a different take.
I see what you're saying. There's a different emotion in this. Similar ingredients, right? Rose patchouli. There's many other things going on. There's oud in here and other notes, but where Portrait of a Lady has that kind of massive sillage and excitement, this is also a pretty beefy fragrance. it's a different emotional tone. You mentioned earlier that this is Portrait of a Lady Crying.
I stand by that. Yeah, I was saying if the one is like Portrait of a Lady, you know, lady, it's not just portrait of a girl, portrait of a woman. It's like this virtuous lady, you know, somebody well respected, or you look at like a nice lady. This is like you're seeing that virtuous lady, but she's hurt, she's crying. There's something darker there. It just seems like a new take on that, where the perfumer tries to evoke those emotions out of you and really see this lady crying, even though it's not, you know, it's Amnesia Rose. So we were talking about is like the name is intriguing, Amnesia Rose, because since Grant told me there's an actual rose named the Amnesia Rose, which is like a gray rose. And I was asking if that was if the actual rose was the inspiration, or that Amnesia Rose, or the story behind it, like a you know, not necessarily a dying rose, maybe a rose that hasn't bloomed yet, we've talked about. So, you know, we're trying to really dive deep on the name there, see if it was like that, the actual rose, or like this dark picture of a rose. But
I personally wouldn't go that dark.
mm-hmm.
It's not sunny and bright, it's not jammy or sweet, it's not luscious, it's not juicy. It's darker, but it's a darker gray. It's almost like a rose that's had a little bit of trauma, and
It's like withering a little bit, but it's still there.
but it's still there. It's not even like it's damaged. It's like something happened and it's just not gonna get its full color.
I like that.
know?
Yeah.
Something happened early on, and it'll bloom, it'll be beautiful, but it will never be that vibrant velvety velvety red. It'll be red with a little pepperiness to it. So I think what we're getting in here is kind of a complicated extension of the Portrait of a Lady concept, right? I often am in places where there are portraits of women, usually who donate lots of money to institutions, and many times these women are in their 50s, 60s, and 70s, perhaps even older, or they age very well. And I had never thought about what those ladies smelled like until I smelled this perfume. Even Portrait of a Lady never made me walk by and think. But as you're thinking now, I can picture one donor of a library in particular as I see this. And it's very evocative how that rose smell and the outfit of somebody sitting for a portrait who has all this tremendous privilege, right? Like think of the rose, it's the queen of flowers. But you're a gray rose.
Like you were almost there.
Yeah, like you just didn't make it. Like, yes, you're an heiress.
Yeah, it counts as a rose, but not what you picture.
It's not the rose that everybody's going for on their wedding days or their prom nights. I'm sure there's people that, if you had Amnesia Roses at your wedding,
But it's
Mazel tov.
It's almost that beautiful story, though, because there is a beauty in not living up to that expectation and being this rose. There's almost a beauty in not being the rose that everyone talks about.
So Amnesia Rose, is it a rose that forgot to be a rose?
I think that's in there a little bit. Either forgot or maybe was nervous to actually blossom. But either way, I think, like we have said, it's almost like a portrait of a lady crying. yes, she's beautiful. It's a portrait of a lady, but there's emotion in there, and that happens to take you in the crying direction. But I enjoy that. I would wear that, and I think it's a new spin on that fragrance. Good luck.
Luca Maffei, Aedes de Venustas, Amnesia Rose. Good luck at Art and Olfaction 2024. Cool. Wow, that one got deep, man.
Get your face right in it.